I want to talk about a movie I had for a long time. It's called Project X. Boy, probably the most epic party in the history of life. So we start with the dude named Costa. We got Dax recording, and he's recording for Thomas's birthday, right? And he's basically behind the camera the whole movie. So Thomas's parents are supposed to be going away for the weekend. And his father sets some ground rules. He's like, yo, make sure you watch the dog. Don't anybody go into my workspace office, you know what I'm saying? I got a couple things to work on. Don't let anybody touch his bins. He tells his father he's just going to have like a couple of friends over, just a little bit of a gathering or whatever, right? But dad does give him the minivan so he can go back and forth to school and whatnot, right? So he got the minivan for the weekend. Now, mind you, all these niggas is like 17. So they go to school, Costa gets the word around, you know what I'm saying? It's about some epic party that's about to happen, you know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, Thomas is talking to his homegirl, Kirby. They've known each other for years or whatever like that. They've been best friends. They pick up this dude by the name of JB. On a side note, we see Dax through the window. He looks like a crazy motherfucker. But once again, we don't see him often like that because he's holding the camera. So once again, Costa get the word out, you know what I'm saying? Then afterwards, they end up going to the market picking up some stuff for the party. But the thing is, they can't get no drinks. They're 17. They end up meeting up with this dude named Tyler. Now, Tyler's like 21. He graduated from their school, and he plays college baseball now. I think he's like 21 or whatever. The thing is, he heard about the party. He's going to be bringing drinks and girls and everything. He's like, fuck that shit. I'm bringing it. So afterwards, Costa's like, yo, we got a nigga another stop. We got to get that kush, you know what I'm saying? Get that weed. So then they're going into this like suburban area or hood area or whatever like that, and they got to talk to this former military dude or whatever like that. Now, obviously, Dax has got to keep his distance because he's still recording the entire time. And he don't want him recording no transactions, obviously. So while they're trying to get the weed, the military dude goes to the bathroom. And Costa gives Dax this gnome that he has in there. He ends up taking his gnome, you know what I'm saying? It's like decoration for the party. So they about to dip out, they got the weed and everything like that. All of a sudden, dude comes out the house like, hey, give me back my gnome. He ends up breaking the windshield, but they end up getting away. Costa tells him he'll get the windshield fixed. He ain't worried about that. Now, Costa supposedly have this girlfriend from like Queens or whatever like that, because that's where he's originally from. But his friends are like, yeah, whatever. So it gets to the point where Costa, Dax, Thomas, JB, and Kirby all at the house just chilling. They start thinking to themselves, are people actually gonna come to this party? Then all of a sudden, like a gang of like 50 people rush to that shit. Basically, they tell everybody to go around back. They got this swimming pool back there. They got one of those little bouncy things for like kids, you know what I'm saying, that they have at like McDonald's and shit like that. You know, maybe they having little birthday parties for like clowns and stuff, the little bouncy things. Anyway, and the people that coming in are bringing drinks already, so you already know what time it is. And Costa was always trying to hook Thomas up with this girl by the name of Alexis, right? Now, apparently, she only messes with college guys. But the crazy thing is she's one of the first people to join the party. Now, before all this, Costa had told everybody in the neighborhood, like, we're just having a little shindig, just letting them know ahead of time, you know what I'm saying, before the party gets started. And he was talking to this one guy across the street that has a baby or whatever like that. So he's just letting them know it's just a little shindig, you know what I'm saying? They get in the back, everybody loading up on drinks. Then more people start coming out of nowhere. Then you see this big ass bus come through. It's like Tyler with a bunch of drinks and a bunch of girls. They going crazy. Now, the area that they're in is in North Pasadena, California. Supposed to be a residential area. Keep that in mind. Now, I gotta look it up. I gotta figure out if it's based off a true story or not. Anyway, JB's macking on some chicks. They put up a sign by the pool a while ago that says naked girls only. The girls were trying to get in the pool. They told them to read the sign, and they was all with it. A bunch of girls are going in there topless. Then somebody tied the dog to a bunch of balloons and was about to have them floating away. We're like, what the fuck? Thomas stopped it, but trust me, it's just getting started. Then it gets to the point where so many people coming over. One of the neighbors came by and was like, look, man, you got to shut this party down, man. I'm trying to get the baby to sleep. Now, they had went and got their own little personal security guards, but they're like kids. These guys had nunchucks, batons, and tasers, and there was only 2 of them. So the dude was threatening to shut the party down or call the police or whatever, right? Now keep in mind, everything we're seeing is what Dax is recording on camera. The dude ends up trying to step to Costco, and then all of a sudden, one of the security guards ends up tasing the dude in the back. He gets back up and punches the security guard in the face. So he's still standing, going to threaten to call the cops. He's like, oh, you gonna call the cops too? You just put the little kid, your 12-year-old in the face. So then he ends up going back to the house. Party continues. Thomas ends up talking to Alexis. He's doing lime shots and tequila off him and everything like that. He's getting drunk. All of a sudden, Costco gets the walkie-talkie. He's talking to the security guard. He's like, yo, they really called the cops. So they're telling everybody to move to the back because people was in the front. It was so many people out there. They got everybody back telling them to be quiet, and all of a sudden the cops roll by, right? They knock on the door. Thomas and Costco come to the door. Now, the cops want to take a look around, but then Costco hits them with some type of authority that says, you can't really go check in the premises without a warrant. They're like, any parents here? He was like, well, technically I'm older. I'm 18 and a half. I think Costco lied to the cops. Well, anyway, it was good enough for the cops to go about their business, and they continue to party. I'm like, what? Now, between that, Thomas had went back into the other room and found out the phone was ringing. And he started talking to his dad. Now, his dad said, you need to answer the phone every time I call. So he told him he was about to go to sleep and everything like that. Then you see him through the window. Niggas is doing jello fire shots. I'm like, fire will be introduced later, I promise you. The dog was having a good time and then getting spray painted. I'm like, what? Then we get to the scene where it's just Thomas and Kirby for a minute. He actually ended up kissing her. He's like, oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. My bad. You know what I'm saying? Was that bad? Then she started kissing him again. I'm like, oh, they about to get it on. They gonna get popping. They got the DJ there, everybody's making noise, and then they realize, like, it's way too many people, yo. Now, apparently, Costco did not only put out the word to, like, schools and everything like that. Tyler got the word out, too. But Costco ended up calling up a radio station, yo. Bottom line, ended up being 1,500 people at this party. I'm like, what the fuck? Somehow some of the people got in the house. Thomas was like, hey, yo, what the fuck? When Tyler was coming in giving them props, Thomas was like, fuck it. Then it started getting real crazy. Tyler was in the back acting like he was playing baseball. They threw the gnome. He ends up breaking the gnome. And the gnome had a bunch of fucking ecstasy pills in it. I'm like, oh, shit. Yeah, that's the reason that guy was trying to get his gnome back. And it turned ridiculous. Somehow there was like a midget that got in the party. He was mad. He ended up beefing with some dudes. These dudes ended up throwing him in the oven. I'm like, what the f? Everybody ends up taking ecstasy. Costco ends up giving Thomas some. Ended up giving JB some too. And it was just on like popcorn. House was damn to get destroyed at that point. Alexa finds Thomas while they dancing. She ends up taking him to the room. They about to get it on. And once again, everything I'm saying, Dax was recording everything. So they about to smash in the room. All of a sudden, Kirby comes in there and you're like, oh shit. He goes chasing after Kirby. Kirby's pissed off. She ends up leaving. Then we found out Alexa's ended up leaving too, but everybody else still stayed. Thomas feeling some type of way. He keeps hearing the phone ring. At this point, he's just like, fuck it. People riding dirt bikes all across the street. It's just a bunch of epic mayhem. Then Thomas ends up getting on the rooftop and Costco and JB follow him there. And then Dax is up there too. And this party is so goddamn ridiculous. Yeah, a news reporter helicopters flying over top of this shit. The news reporter shines a light on Thomas. Thomas puts his middle fingers up to him. And he ends up jumping off the rooftop into the bouncy thing. And then JB follows up with him. JB was good, but somehow he ended up breaking his hand. They had to tie it up with tape and shit. Then it was so epic, the cops ended up coming back. And I don't even know how this happened. But somebody got into the Benz and drove it into the, flew and drove it into the fucking pool. Turns out it was a midget that did it. He started punching people in their nuts. I'm like, what? First off, how did he even get the keys? Did he just jumpstart the bitch? I'm like, what? Like I said, a lot of mayhem took place. And I haven't even described half of it. Then more police was coming out for real because you could see the news reporters joined the helicopters there. Everything was going crazy. They couldn't hold back this mob. Everybody was going ridiculous. Then all of a sudden, shit started catching on fire. I'm like, where's this coming from? You got this dude in a suit with a flamethrower. He's just like lighting up trees, lighting up houses. Everybody just taking over. Turns out the dude is the drug dealer dude that they ran to Costco earlier, yo. And he's pissed off. He wants his gnome back. I'm like, yeah, everybody took the ecstasy out. That shit's gone. The cops were trying to contain him. Somehow they ended up shooting the back of the tank that he has. He ran to his other house. All he sees is this big ass explosion. I'm like, damn, is he done dead as shit? The whole fucking street is on fire. They got helicopters trying to douse that shit with water. It's crazy. Everybody running all over the place. So after all the mayhem happened and they finally dispersed everybody, it's like 6 a.m. Dak, Costco, Thomas, JB, and the other 2 security guards are all chilling on the school bleachers. Everybody's going home. Thomas just sitting there by himself. Very next day, he's just talking to his dad. Now, his dad thought he was a loser, for real. He didn't think he'd pull off anything this epic, this ridiculous. The minivans all burnt the fuck up. And they're at the pool and they're just looking at the crane trying to pick up the daggone bins out of the pool. Their house along with a couple other houses were completely destroyed, yo. So what happens to Thomas when he gets back to school? He says him and his family got to spend the night in this motel. A lot of property damage. Whatever his tuition is for college is gone. He's pretty much going to be owning his parents for the rest of eternity. At this point, he's not even supposed to be meeting up with Costco and JB at this point. And he's basically on house arrest once he gets to the hotel. He's got about 6 different charges on him. But they end up getting the recognition from everybody at school. It's like, yeah, Thomas, yo, that's what's up, yo. Then he sees Kirby, and then Kirby's walking off. He catches up with Kirby, and he tries to explain he's sorry about everything. She ends up kissing him, they hug. All the radio, all the news reported it as like the most epic party ever. Like Big Boy was on talking about it. They tried to make a rumor like Kanye West might have been at the appearance. It was like all over the news. It was ridiculous. So Thomas, he ends up getting convicted on a couple of things and starting a riot. Costco, somehow he has some potent lawyers or whatever like that from New York. He was able to get off of most of his charges. But now he's got to figure out about possible 3 paternity tests. As far as JB goes, he pled insanity and basically got off. He permanently has to ride the short bus to special ed classes for school. I'm like, now as far as Dax goes, when they asked him what his parents had said or whatever like that, Dax was like, I live alone. Now they said towards the end, they were like, they're trying to figure out the disappearance of his parents. Bottom line is he still lives alone. I'm like, what the fuck? There was an investigation going on, Dax. It's crazy. The last scene of the movie, where this lady is giving an interview to K News to Costco. He's basically on TV talking about something. Yeah, you think that's an epic party? Wait till the next one. I'm like, what? I'm telling you, yo, this movie was insane, yo. I think this was actually a real party that took place in North Pasadena, California. Now, this movie came out back in like 2012. I might have to do my research, but if this is true, like, god damn, this is literally the most epic party of all time. Check out Project X if you could check it out. You already know what time it is. Yeah.